can we start, the general person, how can we start practicing that on a consistent basis? You talk about consistency with organizations, like from an individual or from also an organizational perspective. How can we make it a practice?
Right. So, um, I'm not trying to just shamelessly plug the book, I promise, but
That's
we
great.
have all kinds of examples, like tools that you can use all throughout it. And so, for example, like I challenge myself to journal in the third person periodically, even though it feels sometimes unnatural and a little bit weird, because that way, when I actually need to use this tool, I'm not learning it for the first time. I've already practiced it. Um, the exercise I just talked about spatial distancing, about zooming out of my own head, we can practice that. Yeah, if you're feeling a little lazy, you could just go to Google Earth or Maps and just like keep zooming out, keep zooming out, keep zooming out. And it's not long before you can feel your own insignificance. Um, there's apps that you can use to like what would I look like 20 years from now? And so you can, yeah, you can age yourself and be like, oh, that dude's a lot older. Okay, well, what does, if I'm him, then what decision would I make in my life now? And so we can start practicing these things when we don't need them, because when we need them, it's hard, honestly, because we're already so immersed, we're already so wrapped up. And I'll tell you, the when I am about to make the worst decisions, it's the moments where I'm like, you know what, I can't even be bothered to use my own tool right now. And then bam, I mean, that's the best way to just surely screw something up is when I can't even be bothered to slow down and use my own simple tools that can help me make a better decision.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of that makes me think of Danny Kahneman, who,
Yeah,
I study this, and like I've been studying this for my whole life, but even I get caught up in, yeah, because I'm
yeah. That's a great point. I mean, so I read Fast and Slow, and I get to the end and the conclusion, and he's like, you know what? For all my years of studying these biases, I'm not sure I'm that much better at mitigating them. And I'm like, holy cow, dude! Like, it really. And then, and she's like, so the thing I've learned to do is try to recognize the situations where they're most likely to come out. And so that's something that we can do also, is we can be on guard for the situations where we're most likely to make wrong decisions, make biased decisions, allow our own biases to take over. We can be aware of those situations and then have a plan for how to mitigate those ahead of time.
yeah. So like, is that known as pre-mortem?
Sure. Yeah.
Like planning for, like, okay, this thing trips me up. So what are
Right.
some possibilities? What are some ways I can navigate that? Because I know from past experience that this this sort of thing tends to trip me up.
Right. Right. Yes. And I like that. And I have, some personal examples I can think of just real quick right offhand is, if I'm going out to eat and I don't have a pre-decision to get like the vegetables or the slaw or the edamame instead of the French fries, when they ask, would you like fries with that? I'm saying yes, even though I know that's not what I actually really should be getting. And so kind of that's a situation where I'm going to screw it up if I don't have a plan ahead of time.
Yeah.
Um, same with like car shopping and like making the decision at the dealership, um, or allowing myself to be pressured into something at work when the person's right there in front of me, instead of giving some thought ahead of time into like what's really important, what are my priorities, this kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, that way you don't get ice cream on the French fries.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yum.
Yeah, exactly.